Hey everyone, welcome to episode 22 of A Drop of Sunshine. I'm host Daphne DeLauren, and today we're talking about how to get clarity in your life. Purpose exists in everything and everyone. If you're listening to this right now, you're gifted with a beating heart and a very particular purpose. We were all created uniquely with gifts and talents no one else on this earth has, and one of the biggest tragedies is passing through this life without meaning or purpose. Most of us are influenced by family, friends, or other relationships on what we're supposed to do with our life or who we're supposed to be. This affects our careers, hobbies, and relationships. I don't have all the answers, but my mission is to help bring you truth and closer to your purpose, one drop at a time. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 22 of A Drop of Sunshine. I'm host Daphne DeLauren, alongside co-host Nash right next to me here. And what are we talking about today? We are diving into something that I believe is going to upgrade your life if you really take it seriously. Open your ears, open your heart, let it soak in. It's basically all about how to get clarity in your life. But before I get started, I just want to remind you that you can become a patron of A Drop of Sunshine podcast. And what that means, it's value for value. If you like this podcast, you can become a patron, and it depends on which tier you sign up for, maybe every week or every couple of weeks or once a month, you can get personalized drop of sunshines from me to you. You also get discount on my merchandise, which we have coffee mugs, we have tank tops, t-shirts, and umbrellas. And it really depends on what tier you sign up for, but even some life coaching from me. And speaking of life coaching, we also have our A Drop of Sunshine 6-week coaching program where you hop on the phone with me weekly. We dive deeper into my podcast messages. I meet you where you are. Maybe you're in a transition in your life. I've been there. I know what it feels like, and I can definitely help you. So you apply in the show notes section here. I'm going to post a link to becoming a patron of A Drop of Sunshine or joining my A Drop of Sunshine 6-week coaching program. So 2 links in the show notes. Check it out when you get a chance. All right, let's dive into the message today. We're talking about how to get clarity in your life. And so we always have these brilliant life-giving ideas and all sorts of ideas of maybe what we can do with our life or a vision that we have. Maybe it's stepping away from your 9-to-5 job, or maybe it's just a bunch of stuff that you have to get done that you truly don't know where to start. Maybe it's cleaning up your garage, or maybe it's, tackling the taxes or fixing your car or whatever that is in your life, which is going to look different for each and every one of you. I have discovered something that has really changed the game for me, and it really has to do with getting clarity on what needs to get done in my life. Or, for example, when I left my job, many of you know I was working for WSMV, an NBC affiliate here in Nashville as a weekday morning meteorologist. And this was at the end of December, so truly not too long ago. And I remember feeling called to leave my job that I worked my whole life for. And it was terrifying, I'm going to be honest with you. It was like really exciting, life-giving idea, followed by terror. How am I going to do this? What if I fail? What if I get judged? What if it doesn't work out? What if I have to start from the bottom to the top? And it was just like all these thoughts flooded my mind of why I can't, why I shouldn't. And basically what was happening there is my mind was trying to protect me from uncertainty. There's something in your subconscious mind that is trying to protect you at all times. And so it does not like the idea of going into uncertain territory because it knows it doesn't know exactly what's going to happen. And so if it's a paycheck, at the time I was the breadwinner of my family, and it was great money, and it was a hobby of mine. It was a passion of mine. And so that was trying to keep me in a place that was not necessarily in the full swing of my potential, which is the most important thing on planet Earth for me before I pass away. There's nothing more tragic than not living my full potential before I pass away. And so I had to come to a realization of what was happening here. Even though I was terrified, I made the decision to leave my job. And so what really helped me after the fact, after of going through terror, after of overcoming and having enough courage to step away and trusting in God, because I felt like He called me to leave, so why wouldn't He show me the steps, right? That's faith. Faith is not seeing, but trusting that it's going to happen. It's the potential of that reality of your vision and your purpose becoming reality. And so what I did when I left was something called a mind dump. And so I sat down away from the noise of the world by myself, and I just started writing down creative ideas that made me feel alive, creative ideas that was bringing value to other people's lives, serving other people, while also being in sync with my purpose, while also helping to provide for my family, getting food on the table, because that's a real thing. And maybe some of you are listening right now who are in this 9-to-5 countdown life, and you're there because you don't know what else to do. You don't know about any other option, and you have to provide for your family. So my story may not look exactly like yours with what I did by leaving cold turkey. Maybe it's a side hustle for you until your wings take off and you're able to still provide for your family. I had really saved up enough money to have some flexibility, so I wasn't kind of in a dire situation. And so what I did was a mind dump. And I had a sheet, and I wrote down everything of what I would love to do to help other people be fulfilled and be in sync with my purpose. Okay? And so just example for you, start a podcast, boom. Become a life coach, boom. Become a professional speaker, boom. Sell merchandise, Drop of Sunshine merchandise. And I wrote down all these things, a little acting on the side, modeling, all these things that I really enjoyed doing. And it was a way to also provide for my family. And what I did was I would get really clear on those things, and I would pick one of them. When your mind is pulled in 10 different places of opportunities of, oh, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do that. The moment you do that, your mind gets overwhelmed and there's no clarity. It's just like this fog of ideas. And it's like you love it and you would love to do it, but you're not exactly clear and you're not prioritizing your time and giving the full attention that the top on that list really needs. So what do? You get distracted by things in your life that have no direction towards that thing. When your mind does not have clarity, it gets easily distracted, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, doing things that are not going to help you get to your vision. So you just are in the same place and there's no momentum. And when your mind gets overwhelmed, it doesn't want to do any of it. So the mind dump really helps you get clarity, and it helps you to say no to things that are not serving that one thing that you're focusing on. Because everything wants your attention and your focus, and it's trying to pull you in a million different directions. But if you know, okay, my goal right now is to start a podcast, and I need to learn everything I need to know to start this thing. So if someone's coming after me or needing my attention for something that is not towards the podcast, now is not the time. And so I got really good at saying no to things that were not in sync with what my focus is on right now. Where your focus goes, energy flows. And so if I'm changing my focus, that's going to change the state of my mind and it's going to lead me astray. And I am all about time condensing versus time elapsing, especially give me oh yeah, if you're a mama, right? Like I watch a baby at home for 12 hours. And so the 1 or 2 hours I have during the day when he's napping, oh my goodness, like I am really good at prioritizing that time. That's a game changer. When he's down at night, what do I need to focus on? What is the top on my priority list that I need to focus on? And so that has really given me clarity on my vision, my heart's desire, and my purpose. So the first thing I did, I tackled the podcast. The second thing I did was tackling the acting. The third thing I did was tackle speaking, professionally speaking and going places and events and speaking into people's lives, which is what I've always visualized. Like there's nothing more fulfilling for me. And so that makes me feel alive. And there's a reason we feel alive with certain things in our life. And then the life coaching. Like if I can get on the phone with someone and change their mindset and impact their life in a pivotal way, there's nothing more fulfilling for me, because what I realize is your mind dictates every aspect of your life. It affects your decisions, your relationships, your whole belief system stems from your mind. So if I can help you get your mind in the right place, that's all it takes for you to change your life and maybe your family's life in like the most radical way, which is so incredible, which has taught me like we need to be spending more time on our mindset and what we fill it with. Like, do we fill it with garbage or do we fill it with truth? Do we fill it with relationships that gossip and drain our energy? Or do we fill it with people who we really trust and who gives us life and who we can fellowship with, because we're not meant to go through this life alone. Whether you like it or not, who you surround yourself with, actually you become. Like your subconscious will literally become like that person, whether you like it or not. And so if you are constantly surrounding yourself with gossipers or people who drain you or people who don't have a similar mindset or, goal-oriented, that's not going to be good for you and your goals. So once I got my mind dump out and I would tackle one, I would move to the next thing. But the key in all of this, I would close my eyes and visualize myself already succeeding, like already playing the role of what my ultimate vision with that thing is. So that helped me with what I was just talking about how your mind and body is created to protect you from uncertainty. If you're training your mind to believe it's already done, you already killed it, you already succeeded, it's going to be far less inclined to try to convince you out of uncertain territory, because it's starting to believe it's already done and it's going to try to support you in that thought process and that goal-oriented trying to get to that vision. All right, so we have the mind dump down. We're tackling one after the other. We're trying to learn and figure it out. We become resourceful because a lot of times you don't know exactly how to do it, but maybe you know somebody else who does, or maybe there's a course out there, or maybe someone can help you who's already been there. You need just one person who's 1 or 2 steps ahead of you who can help you. And you learn from that, which is also time condensing. Now it's time to welcome some setbacks, some disappointments. It's a part of life. Like there's going to be times where what you thought or what you visualized didn't pan out as smoothly as you would have hoped, or maybe you fell on your face a couple of times. That's a good thing. I know it hurts. I know it sucks. I know it's uncomfortable. But if you don't get disappointed in life, that means you're not trying something new. But what if it's your perspective of that setback? Because a lot of times when we fall into a setback or we get disappointed, our natural inclination is to stop, right? Because we hate that feeling of uncomfortable, or we start to doubt ourselves, or I don't know what it looks like for you, or what thoughts or what lies are thrown your way. But that's the worst thing you can do is stop, because that is failure. That is failure when you know you're supposed to do something and you get a disappointment or you fail one time and you just stop. But what's not a failure is you get a setback and you ask yourself 3 questions. Go ahead and write this down. 1, what am I learning here? How am I growing? And what is the next step? If you can ask yourself those 3 questions, honestly, when you get a setback or disappointment in your life, it's actually an incredible opportunity for growth. And the ones who are successful are the ones who fail 1,000,000 times. Who was it? I think Edison, who created the light bulb. How many times did he fail before he actually got the light bulb to turn on? I think like thousands of times. What if he stopped? I'm sure somebody else would have figured out how to create a light bulb, but maybe not that soon. And a lot of times we see someone successful and we say, oh, well, they were just born like that. Or, they were meant to do that. And they didn't have any failures, because when you're good at something or you're talented at something or you succeed at something, it's so easy to ignore the pain or setback or failures along the way. And it's so easy to say, oh, wow, that was so gracious and smooth, and they were just supposed to do that. But I guarantee you they fell on their face 1,000,000,000 times before that success that you're seeing actually happened. It's the ones who get up and bounce back with resilience that really make it to the finish line. Like, can you push through the mud? Is it worth it? Is that thing on the other side worth it? Because if it's not, you're not going to have the desire or drive to carry through the mud. You need something to push you through, like that rope that you're holding on that's just going through the mud, but you still hold on and grip it tight because it's worth it. So is that thing worth it for you? So speaking of setbacks, there are going to be things in life that are completely out of our control. Like, there are going to be disappointments that, maybe you had control over, and it's like, dang it, I shouldn't have done that, but I learned and I grew. But there's also things in life that truly are out of our control. And it can be so easy to get overheated over, or it can just ruin your peace. Or maybe a couple examples for this would be, someone cutting you off in traffic, like somebody putting you and your family's life in jeopardy because they're driving like a maniac. Or maybe a cashier being super rude to you. Or, this could be in 100 fill in the blank different ways in life, just day-to-day life. Or it could be your child screaming on the airplane. At 5 a.m, it could be your child screaming and you have no control. In fact, this just happened to me. I flew to Florida over the weekend on Friday morning. We were on the airplane. We took off at 5:35 in the morning. 5 minutes was beautiful. I texted Josh, my husband. I said, honey, we are in great shape. The iPad saved the day. I threw on Baby Shark. And as soon as I sent that text, I don't know what happened, but Noah starts screaming, okay? We're on an airplane, and this is like the time of day where everyone had woken up at like 3 a.m., so they're using this opportunity before their business trip, before their vacation, to catch a couple hours of snooze. And Noah, my son, my child, my 17-month-year-old, just start screaming and doing backflips, and I don't know what to do. And I find myself like my boiling, like my frustration is just rising. That meter is just going up and up and up. And he's doing backflips, and the lady next to me is like really trying to sleep. And I have the cell phone, Baby Shark, and I have the iPad, another kind of cartoon. Maybe he'll like one or the other. And nothing is doing it. And he does these backflips, and I physically cannot carry him. And everyone's looking at me, giving me the side eye. Of course, the ones who've never had a child, because they don't really understand that it's not in your control. And I'm like trying to be strict with him. I'm like, Noah, stop it, And nothing is happening. And he's 17 months old, so you can't really do much else. And so he does these backflips, and he gets into the aisle of the airplane, and he's literally like kissing the floor, putting his face in the ground, just hugging the floor, making snow angel-like moves in the aisle. And the lady is telling me, the flight attendant, she's like, get your child up. We need to have this clear space. And I'm trying to lift him up, but I can't carry him because he's doing these crazy moves. And I started getting super frustrated, and it was just like boiling. And I said, oh my gosh, I have no control over this situation right now. The more upset I get, the more my peace is taken away. And I literally felt helpless, but I realized like me getting upset and frustrated and my peace, being just completely ripped apart was not going to help Noah or myself or my sanity or anything. So I did the best I could to calm him down and to get him to stop crying. And I was really intentional in that moment to let go of what I could not control. And it's a practice. So when someone cuts you off in traffic or someone's rude to you, like initially, because we're human beings, you get upset, and that's okay. But what do you do with that? Like, can you let it go and not take it personal? Like, Noah was not trying to do that on purpose to me. Even though it felt like it, I was like, what the heck? Stop screaming. Why are you screaming? Everyone's sleeping. Like, are you doing this on purpose? He wasn't. He truly wasn't. So this happens to us every single day. And your peace and your sanity is worth working on this, to let things go. The person cutting you off, it's not about you. It's nothing personal. The cashier that might have been rude to you, you have no clue what that cashier went through. And I'm saying cashier, but it could be anyone. It could be someone at work. Someone snaps at you. It's like your initial instinct is to take it personally, but it's not about you. And when it gets to you is when you allow it to get to you. So I challenge you to just be intentional in those moments. The quicker you can let it go, the more freeing it is, the more peace you'll have. And all around, not only you, but everyone else around you will reap the benefits of a sound mind. Because what happens when you're upset and just pissed off and frustrated and, taking it personal, this person cut you off, this coworker at work was rude to you, you circle it and justify it, and then everyone around you, now you're in a bad mood and it's contagious. Then you come home and you let it out on your family. But what if you nipped it in the bud as soon as it happened and say, okay, this person's having a bad day. I don't know what they went through. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. That's the extent of you ever hearing me sing ever again. Probably never again. Okay. Well, my friend, if you're listening to this, thank you. Thank you for listening all the way until the end of this podcast episode. I am so grateful from the bottom of my heart for each of you who are committed to listening to A Drop of Sunshine every single Tuesday, as I am committed to bring you a new episode. Every week it's different. Every week it's something on my heart. So I hope it encourages you. I hope it brings a little sunshine into your life. And I hope you spread that sunshine. So if this is bringing value to your life, go ahead, share it with a friend. Maybe even give me a star or a review on iTunes. That would truly help me out. So I hope you got something out of this, and I hope this affects the rest of your day, ripple effects into the rest of your week, your month, your year, and your life. Remember, you are the author of your happiness. You can live with purpose, and that is my hope and prayer for your life. All right, my friends, bye for now. See you next week.